Hazel Grace, he said, you look ravishing. I know, right? I heard a shuffling in the dark corner of the room. Isaac stood behind the little wooden lectern, clinging to it. You want to sit? I asked him. No, I'm about to eulogize. You're late. What? Gus gestured for me to sit. I pulled the chair into the center of the circle with him as he spun the chair to face Isaac. I want to attend my funeral, Gus said. By the way, will you speak at my funeral? Of course, yeah, I said, letting my head fall onto his shoulder. I reached across his back and hugged both him and the wheelchair. He winced. I let go. Awesome, he said. I'm hopeful I'll get to attend as a ghost, but just to make sure. I thought not to put you on the spot. But I just this afternoon thought I could arrange a Puri funeral. And I figured since I'm in reasonably good spirits, there's no time like the present. How did you even get in here? I asked him. Would you believe they leave the door open all night? Gus asked. No, I said. As well you shouldn't. Gus smiled. Anyway, I know it's a bit self-aggrandizing. Hey, you're stealing my eulogy, Isaac said. My first bit is about how you were a self-aggrandizing bastard. I laughed. Okay, Gus said. At your leisure. Isaac cleared his throat. Augustus Waters was a self-aggrandizing bastard. But we forgive him. We forgive him not because he had a heart as figuratively good as his literal one sucked, or because he knew more about how to hold a cigarette than any non-smoker in history, or because he got 18 years when he should have gotten more. 17. Gus corrected. I'm assuming you've got some time. You interrupting bastard. I'm telling you, Isaac continued. Augustus Waters talked so much that he'd interrupt you at his own funeral. And he was pretentious. Sweet Jesus Christ. That kid never took a piss without pondering the abundant metaphorical resonances of human waste production. And he was vain. I do not believe I have ever met a more physically attractive person who was more acutely aware of his own physical attractiveness. But I will say this. When the scientists of the future show up at my house with robot eyes and they tell me to try them on, I will tell the scientists to screw off because I do not want to see the world without him. I was kind of crying by then. And then, having made my rhetorical point, I will put my robot eyes on because with robot eyes you can probably see through girls' shirts and stuff. Augustus, my friend, Godspeed. Augustus nodded for a while. His lips pursed, and then gave Isaac a thumbs up. After he had recovered his composure, he added, I would cut the bit about seeing through his girl's shirts. Isaac was still clinging to the lectern. He started to cry. He pressed his forehead down to the podium, and I watched his shoulders shake. And then finally he said, God damn it, Augustus, editing your own eulogy. Don't swear in the literal heart of Jesus. Gus said, God damn it. Isaac said again. He raised his head and swallowed. Hazel, can I get a hand here? I'd forgotten he couldn't make his own way back to the circle. I got up, placed his hand on my arm, and walked him slowly back to the chair next to Gus where I'd been sitting. Then I walked up to the podium and unfolded the piece of paper on which I'd printed my eulogy. My name is Hazel. Augustus Waters was the great star-crossed love of my life. Ours was an epic love story, but I won't be able to get more than a sentence into it without disappearing into a puddle of tears. Gus knew. Gus knows. I will not tell you our love story, because, like all real love stories, it will die with us, as it should. I'd hoped that he'd be eulogizing me, because there's no one I'd rather have. I started to cry. Okay, how not to cry? How am I? Okay, okay. I took a few breaths. I took a few breaths and went back to the page. I can't talk about our love story, so I will talk about math. I am not a mathematician, but I know this. There are infinite numbers between 0 and 1. There's 1, 1 and there's dot 1 and dot 1 2 and dot 1 1 2 and an infinite collection of others. Of course, there is a bigger infinite set of numbers between 0 and 2, or between 0 and a million. Some infinities are bigger than other infinities. A writer we used to like taught us that there are days, many of them, when I resent the size of my unbounded set. I want more numbers than I'm likely to get. And God, I want more numbers for Augustus Waters than he got. But Gus, my love, I cannot tell you how thankful I am for our little infinity. I wouldn't trade it for the world. You gave me a forever within the numbered days, and I'm grateful.